A curious little girl named Goldilocks wandered into the forest and found a cottage that belonged to three bears: Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. While they were away, she entered the cottage. First, she saw three bowls of porridge. She tasted Papa Bear porridge, but it was too hot. Mama Bear porridge was too cold, but Baby Bear porridge was just right, so she enjoyed it. Feeling full and tired, she tried three chairs. Papa Bear chair was too big, Mama Bear chair too soft, but Baby Bear chair was just right. After that, she went upstairs and found three beds. Papa Bear bed was too hard, Mama Bear bed too soft, but Baby Bear bed was just right, so she fell asleep. You might wonder where this famous kid story will bring us. Now, this Goldilocks adventure unknowingly teaches us is just right principle is actually being a golden key how to stay motivated in our own lives. And then this principle is called the Goldilocks Rule. Much like Goldilocks when she found the porridge is either too hot or too cold, we often find that the things we do every day are either too difficult, leaving us feeling overwhelmed, or too easy, making us bored. Both of these extremes drastically drain our motivation. But when we find that sweet spot, when something feels just right, not too easy, challenging enough, but not too hard, we're much more likely to stay engaged, focused, and motivated. And that's what we call the Goldilocks Rule. Researchers at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, led by Dr. Eilert Fischbach and Dr. Caitlin Woolley, explored how the Goldilocks Rule applies to goal setting and motivation. Their research, published in 2017, found that individuals are more likely to stay committed to goals that present moderate challenges. They discovered when goals are perceived as precise in terms of difficulty, they create a sense of progress and competence, which boosts motivation and persistence. So how can we use this Goldilocks Rule to maintain our motivation in everyday life? Just like Goldilocks, start by looking at the tasks or goals that you're struggling with and adjust accordingly. If they feel too easy, you might be coasting, and boredom can quickly set in. On the other hand, if the task feels too hard, it's easy to get discouraged and quit. You can learn from Sarah. Sarah decided to run her first marathon. She was excited, but she had no idea how to train properly. In the beginning, Sarah was eager and set a tough running schedule. She would run as long as possible every day, thinking this would make her stronger and faster. But after only a week, her motivation drained. She felt exhausted physically and mentally. Her training was too hot, too intense, and left her feeling burned out. Then Sarah tried the opposite approach. She took it easy, running only short distances and giving herself plenty of rest. She felt comfortable, but after a month, she noticed she wasn't getting any progress. Her training was now too cold, too easy to bring about any improvement. Sarah then learned about the Goldilocks Rule. She needed to find the just right level of training. She started running longer distances as she could and not overpushed herself. After finding out her limit, she slowly increased the distance day by day. Over time, she could feel her stamina increasing without feeling too tired or overwhelmed. Her runs became enjoyable again, and she saw progress without the frustration of being overworked or underprepared. As well as Sarah, you can do the Goldilocks Rule in your daily life. Whether learning new skills, studying, exercising, adjusting the level of difficulty is key point to make your motivation on the high level while progressing. Find that just right challenge that keeps moving. The reason this Goldilocks Rule works so well is because it helps you reach something called a flow state. But what is flow state? Have you ever been so absorbed in an activity that you lose track of time? That's what we call flow state. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi developed the theory of flow, and he discovered that people are at their happiest and most productive when they're in this state. Flow happens when you're working on a task that's challenging enough to hold your attention, but not so tough that it becomes frustrating. To get into this flow state, you need the perfect balance of skill and challenge, the very sense that the Goldilocks Rule helps you find. When you're in flow, you're completely focused on the task at hand, and everything else seems to fade away. You're motivated, productive, and satisfied. The best part is that finding your just right tasks through the Goldilocks rule makes entering the flow state much easier. It's the perfect formula for sustained motivation. This advantage of flow state from Goldilocks rule isn't just a nice theory. Successful people who really flows in their field use it every day. Take athletes, for example. They know they have to push themselves to get better, but they also understand that pushing too hard can lead to burnout or injury. So they carefully plan their training, gradually increasing the difficulty of their workouts as their strength and skill improve. By staying in that just right zone, they can stay motivated and continue progressing without overdoing it. Entrepreneurs do the same thing. Building a business from scratch is never easy, but successful entrepreneurs know that they have to take it one step at a time. They set challenging but realistic goals that push them forward. This steady approach helps them stay motivated and focused over the long term. Even in education, teachers in best school in the world aim to create lessons that challenge students just enough to keep them engaged without frustrating them. By presenting material that's right in the student's zone of development, they help keep the student's interest and motivation high. So to sum up, the Goldilocks rule is all about finding that just right level of difficulty in the tasks you take on. When something is too easy, you get bored. When it's too hard, you get discouraged. But when it's just right, you stay motivated and productive, and you might even enter a flow state where you're at your best. As you go about your day, think about the challenges you face. Are they too simple, too difficult, or precise enough? Adjust as needed, and you'll find that staying motivated becomes much easier. Remember, just like Goldilocks, sometimes you have to try a few different approaches before you find the perfect fit. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. See you next time, and remember, find your just right challenge and keep pushing forward.